17. FIFA time is here. I love the Espuerta.
I'm so hyped. I'm so honoured to have you here, and we're going to be talking about lots of interesting features about the new game.
So we have Gareth and Nick here to tell us a little bit more about the brand new experience that is FIFA 17. What do you guys have in store with us for the gameplay within FIFA 17?
Well, I think, this year is probably the biggest FIFA we've ever made. This is a huge year for us, and that kind of starts with the move to Frostbite. So it's been something we've been working on for a couple of years. It's allowing us to do a new mode, which we'll talk about in a minute, but in gameplay, which will always be the most important part of FIFA and any sports game, big year for us as well. We've got sort of 4 key areas of innovation. The first thing is we've rewritten all of set pieces, so much more control over corner kicks now. You can actually aim more accurately. You can now go in floated crosses, driven crosses. There's more movement. We've done a lot of work in 2-player situations where players can now battle for the ball a little bit more. You see in games there's so much movement now in the box.
Exactly. Is Harry Kane banned from corners? Is that a thing in the game? Can we just ban him from forever taking corners?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
And free kicks.
So we've got that, and he's not banned, by the way. So we've got that. We've also reworked penalties. So the penalty mechanic we've changed to be much more aligned with the way you shoot within the game. So it's aiming directionally, power really brings that consistency to shooting within the game to penalties as well. We even allow you to run down the line with a little bit, not all the way down the line, but with throw-ins as well.
Awesome.
And also free kicks, you can move now before you kick the ball. So gives you opportunities now to hit an outside of the foot shot as well.
Oh, wow.
Which really kind of changes the dynamics and a lot more control. So that's the first thing. The second is more techniques in the attacking side of the pitch, driven shots. You can now do a driven shot on demand, which is something our players have been asking for quite a while. You can now do downward headers as well.
Oh wow!
Again,
so
on
head
demand.
Back against the keeper and
exactly.
And stuff.
You can now, we were here last year talking about passing with purpose. You can now do that from the goalkeeper. Allows you to ping the ball a little bit quicker from the back.
Poor Joe Hart, he can't pass with purpose, can he? It's not fair on him.
So we've got all of those, and then we've also got active intelligence as well, which I think if you play the game this year, obviously it's on the show floor here right now, I think that's the first thing you'll notice is just how active the attackers are in the final third of the pitch, making overlapping runs. The key change is players would move based on where the ball was, whereas now they're looking at dangerous space. So they're looking at where the space is that, if I go in there, is that a good place to be, and moving away from defenders. And players are now running off each other, which makes a huge difference and change to the game. And finally, a lot of work around physical play as well. We overhauled all of our physical play. You can use the left L2 or left trigger to now shield. So again, with the active intelligence we talked about, players are making runs off you, so you can play a ball up into feet. At the top, top of the box, ball into the feet, players running off. Hold-up play now is a real part, or can be a real part.
I like to do with Giroud.
Sorry?
I like to do with Giroud.
Exactly.
Hold up the ball.
That changes the way.
It does.
There's so many ways to play.
It's different.
Football.
So different.
The fact you can have that target man or the false nine or plays like that. And, one thing that's exciting me hearing what you said there is that movement into space. The fact that players will move and create that space, and that will create so many more attacking opportunities. You can play a bit more tiki-taka or a bit more, route one, and it's going to completely change the way people play.
Exactly. And like you say, route one now, previously when the ball was in the air, there was generally the players could only head the ball, and we've brought in new contexts, and now if the ball's in the air you can actually bring it down and control it, again using the left trigger functionality. So it transforms the game really, and it brings much more variety into the way you can attack. Players running off you, you're going to feel a real difference in the game.
And I think some of that, the wing play, when you come down, it's not always all about crossing in. We've seen some amazing runs where you take it down the wing and someone will come in, not get the ball right away, and then actually backpedal, cut back to receive that pass. And I mean, that's where I'm scoring a lot of my goals now, is some of that more intelligent, runs and playing the balls through.
And is it sort of is it a difficult challenge to sort of take a game like FIFA 16 and have to rethink about how you do, it sounds like pretty much everything about the way you play FIFA, but still keep it with that same FIFA mentality?
Yeah, I mean, it's every year there's sort of key parts to it. Where can we innovate? you know, there's the elements that we might have been working on for a while. You know, the active intelligence was something that we've been working on for a little while. The physics system actually we've been working on for a number of years. It's a highly complex system that allows us to do what we're doing. It's also looking at what our players are saying. What do they like, what they didn't like. And I think, you know, at times last year we created a very balanced game, but at times it could get a little bit bogged down. It could get a little bit bogged down in the midfield. People wanted more opportunities. They wanted to feel like they could create space, which really became that kind of inspiration for some of the attacking movement and options that we have. So, you know, looking at some of the technology that we're trying to create over time, and also listening to player feedback and how they want to see the game change from year to year.
I also understand you guys have a little gameplay video that we can take a look at.
No, I'm not. I think we have the trailer if we've not run that already.
Yeah, trailer action.
Awesome.
If we could play the trailer, let's take a look at this in action.
I've been lucky enough, I played this at an EA event a couple of months ago, and you can really tell the difference that the new Frostbite engine is bringing. Yeah,
I mean, I'm really pleased to hear you saying that. I mean, Frostbite's a huge change. It's an amazing engine. Obviously, it's something that the DICE team, Battlefield, have been using for years. You know, Mass Effect as well at BioWare. So for it, you know, for us to be able to bring our game to that level of technology, you know, is a huge step forward for us. I mean, the shot you just seen there with the lighting, we're doing a lot more around atmospheric lighting as well. This is something, you know, talking to the teams at DICE and how they light the levels of Battlefield. You know, whilst the games are massively different, you wouldn't expect to be able to share things. There's a lot we can't share, but the ideas and philosophies of how they light, how they create dramatic effects are some of the things that we've learned, you know, and work with them to create a different feel to the game. So, you know, it's huge that we can be able to do that, you know, and we're really happy with the way it's looking. You've seen the managers there as well.
Guardiola,
you know, those little elements that just bring, you know, bring the game to life. I know Klopp's in this video as well, going crazy on the side.
It just adds that overall immersion. Yeah, FIFA's always been a great game in terms of the dynamism and the staging. It feels like these big matches, and this will just add to that kind of, you feel like you're in the stadium, that 90th minute goal or that equaliser, and just having that incredibly looking game. See Vardy there, and you know, I'm already hyped for this, despite the fact that Charlton are currently a joke. You know,
didn't you win at the weekend?
We did win. We won yesterday. We won yesterday. We drew at the weekend, won yesterday.
Win to win.
A win is a win. Let's not talk about the Belgian owners.
No, but, you know, a lot of people think about the Frostbite engine. They think about how it sort of brings to life the atmosphere around, you know, the shooters that it's typically in. But what exactly does that mean in sort of bringing FIFA to life a little bit more than we've seen in previous games?
Well, I mean, we've talked about the lighting. We've talked about, you know, again, moving to an engine like that means that we can share, you know, we have conversations with game teams in EA all the time, but now you're not just having a conversation about some ideas, you're having a conversation about technology, and you can go and have a look and say, well, we do this. Oh, okay, we can try that. So there's that aspect to it, but I mean, the other big thing is the journey. So, you know, we announced it back in June, huge new mode for us, you know, bringing narrative story to FIFA for the very first time is something that people have asked and talked about, you know, when can we bring those kind of elements into the game? To be quite frank, we didn't have the tool set to do it. So Frostbite allows us to, you know, they've been doing it for years, bringing those narrative story-driven elements into the game. You know, so it's really allowed us to do that. You know, the tool sets to be able to create cutscenes, to light them in the way that you're seeing, and you know, it's something very different, very fresh. It's a new character, Alex Hunter, who was being actually on Twitter during the Iceland game, was actually being asked to be brought on the pitch.
Yeah, because we could not even pass the ball. Like, let's just not mention Iceland or England or Charlton or any football in the real world. Lovely FIFA world that's actually I can like live in. And that's the one thing as well is there's so many different modes. You know, you've already got, you know, the career mode, you've got be a pro, you've got the online mode, and now this, you know, story mode is going to add so much more.
It is, and I think it's a different twist. Alex Hunter's trying to be the next big thing in English football. It's about, you know, his rise to fame in terms of, you know, becoming a Premier League star. There's highs and lows along the way. We're not going to give it all away. You can come here and get a taste of it on the show floor. But, you know, we wanted to bring it, we wanted to get a mode that really focused on what happened on the pitch. You know, really having that connection. If you have a bad game, you might see a different scene, red card. You might get called out for that.
Oh, so it's quite dynamic like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a core story arc that everyone will experience, but you'll experience it different ways depending on how you play. You know, so there's twists and turns in there, but it's something that's very, very different. people I think are going to get a real kick out of it.
And it's something that's so big in football at the moment. You look at the Leicester story last season.
Yeah.
You look at how much things are analysed. Like you hear the Messi story, the Guardiola story. People love to have that behind the scenes, the stuff outside the match, and that mode's going to bring so much of that to the players.
Well, I mean that's what video games are all about. It's living out fantasy, and obviously. We feel we've done a very good job of that, of playing what it's like to be playing 11-side football, but how can we take you kind of on and off the pitch?
And I think,
we feel we can do that.
To your point, there's a lot of things when we were in development that kind of came up. So, like Harry Kane obviously blew up over the last number of years. We had Rashford come up as well, and we knew when we were working on this mode, we had to actually talk to people who had been in these types of situations. So, players, consultants. So we used a lot of those players as consultants.
Oh, wow.
To say, hey, here's the script we're working with. Here's the storyline we're working with. Does this make sense? Is this authentic to what we're trying to do?
You couldn't have a better consultant than that, than the people who've actually lived it and people that we all look up to as heroes.
Exactly. I mean, obviously there's been a lot since we announced it. There's been a lot of people making the connection with Rashford, and obviously we've been working on this for a couple of years. So it's that the story's been there, but it was great to be able to talk to him about his experiences and how he just shot onto the scene. And he's been phenomenally successful. I thought whilst England didn't do particularly well in Euros,
he was lively every time he came on.
Fantastic. So I think bringing these elements in, as Gareth said, we worked with Tom Watt as well, who if you're English you'll remember from EastEnders, but he has done an incredible job of moving into sports journalism. So we've worked actually very closely with him, getting his feedback on the story and how we've put it together and the writing, and he's been a great asset to us. He wrote Beckham's autobiography, so he's been great helping us with that as well, with the story too. So trying to get different influences, both in terms of the writing, but also in terms of the authenticity as well.
Awesome.
I understand we have a little more FIFA visuals to take a look at with our eyes.
I think we're going to go into, and obviously Gareth's here with who leads the Ultimate Team for us. So he's going to talk a lot about this, and I'll let him go into the video in a second. But we talk about the biggest game we've made. We've got a new engine, the biggest mode we've added in years, and I don't think we've ever done this much in Ultimate Team before.
Yeah, it's awesome for me to work on the game. Nick and I have worked together on FIFA for a long time, and this year just feels so huge. So we're seeing a trailer for our new mode in FIFA Ultimate Team, squad building challenges. So something that our fan base and our streamers and our people who are playing this game
they do that a lot naturally. I see that Castro does the streams where he goes, I'll make this kind of squad, and you have that building challenge, and there's a lot of people that have their channels just based on that squad building challenge, and now you've actually brought it into the game itself.
And we had Castro on our live stream last night.
Oh, awesome.
We created a special challenge just for him that we called Castro's Challenge right in FIFA Ultimate Team, and we had him do that challenge live on the stream.
Awesome.
We made it easy for him. We didn't want to embarrass him on the stream, but
I'm sure he would do it anyway. He's such an expert.
Yeah.
I actually sat here last year having never played Ultimate Team before. I've always played FIFA. I've always played the career mode or the Be a Pro mode. I got into Ultimate Team last year. I'm not going to tell you how much I actually spent trying to get George Best. I was determined to get George Best. I ended up getting him, and I'm really excited to see these team building challenges now, because it is such a there's something with the football card collecting from back in the day, or the informed player who's got a slightly accelerated Vardy's got a really good shot. It's so compulsive a mode.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we found people would be trying to create that one Ultimate Team squad. They would take that online,
play to live the name of the game.
Exactly, play online seasons, but people were living so much with that one squad, opening packs, looking on the transfer market, trying to build that they were amassing huge amounts of content that, depending on their play style or who their favorite players were, they weren't using it. So we really wanted to build something in that let everyone use that extra content, and now we have these squad building challenges that lets you plug in all these players that you never thought you would need to use or you wanted to use. And now those might be the keys to your success in finishing some of these challenges and getting rewards.
Rather than just, you're looking for that one or two players, and the other players you might sell or discard, now you might keep them because you never know how they're going to be used in other modes.
Exactly.
It's really exciting.
I think, as well, squad building challenges is is a big change for us in the fact, yes, it's new, but it's also the first time we've created a mode where you don't actually have to play the Twix experience. So, you know, you're using the content that's in your club, as Gareth said, using some of the items that maybe you don't use while you're playing.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to, you know, use the mechanics of the mode to get a reward, but also to do it in a different way. So, I mean, I think it's also available outside of the console as well.
Yeah, so we've got our companion app that we've had for many years that has a lot of the FIFA Ultimate Team features, and this was just so perfect for that. We wanted something that you could do one-to-one. So if you add a player to a challenge on your console, you go home, you get on your companion app, that player's already in there. So you can both earn your rewards or claim them on either platform. So it's going to be awesome to have people
awesome. That's really exciting,
play that
you know,
across.
You can always, you know, have like that, you know, sit next to someone, oh, what players have you got, and have that natural comparison and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the exciting things for Ultimate Team for me is, you know, as a fan of football, as a fan of the different leagues, is collecting those cards. There's some, you know, some players that, you know, oh, I can get that player. I remember I play on the Xbox for the Legends. And I remember having a midfield of Roy Keane, Nedved, Bobby Moore at the back, and it's just, it really lends itself to really getting into it. And can we talk about the Legends?
You pulled a lot of packs, didn't you?
I don't want to say how much money I spent on packs last year.
I know, if you've got Best and Keen, I mean, that's...
I only pulled Lalas. He's the only legend I actually pulled. The other ones, you know, I sold, and, you know, I did a lot of wheeling dealing. I watched the market.
The hustle was real.
That's what you got to do.
The hustle was real, you know. I remember getting the right winger De Bruyne. Because he had a really high, and I remember staying. De Bruyne, I always pronounce his name wrong. I can never get it right for some reason. It's like a mental block. But I remember staying up to like 3 a.m. just to try and snipe this one card. And it's like, you get an excitement. It's almost like being a manager in the transfer market, waiting for that bid.
That's the beauty of Ultimate Team. I mean, that's what everyone does. And I think with the squad building challenges, not only for your main squad, but you're going to be trying to, you know, snipe those players that maybe someone else isn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
They don't even need that player, but you need it for your particular challenge and the way you're going to solve that puzzle.
And it also introduces, you know, new players to people who might not be familiar with other players that are like, I didn't even realize this guy was as good as he is.
Absolutely.
And now I have him as part of my collection.
I have a guilty confession that there were a few players at the Euros where I was like, I know him, he was an informed card in Ultimate Team. And as sad as that is, it is kind of cool because it's a new way to learn about the sport itself.
Well, and that's the thing with the challenges too, right? You can learn about different leagues and like you say, different players that you have maybe you're familiar with because you're not watching that on TV, whereas now you can get to learn a lot more about, you know, different leagues, different players. You know, and we must be doing something right if we're moving you away from Charlton in career mode.
If in 1 year you've got George Best, that's
I probably played more Ultimate Team last year than career mode. Maybe that was to do with Charlton, but maybe that was because it's a really good mode. I really enjoy, and the fact you can play it offline and online as well, and do the cups. It's, you know, it's a multifaceted experience.
So we still have one more video.
So
even more videos.
So we
keep it coming.
We did 2, I think, huge things in FUT this year. So we talked about squad building challenges. We also brought FUT champions.
Nice.
So as you guys know, competitive play within FIFA has really migrated to FUT. That's kind of where everyone's playing online and trying to build their stuff. So we wanted to put a mode into FUT that drove competitive play and that really rewarded people for being, you know, competitive and good at the game. And, you know, a lot of people say, hey, I'm really good at FUT. I'm a Division 1 player. I won Division 1. There are thousands and thousands of people who have won Division 1 and think that they're the best within FUT. And that's great. But we've built FUT champions for you to really show how good you are at the game. So at that top end, we've got the best rewards that we've ever had. So amazing levels of coins, packs, player content, stuff that we've never been able to do before. And, you know, we also had a huge, crazy announcement yesterday with Peter Moore coming up on stage with us and announcing the Ultimate Team Championship Series in partnership with FIWIC, the FIFA After World Cup.
Wow.
And what's crazy to me is, you know, I've been working on online for a while within FIFA, and the prize pools have been, you know, not too much, right? Especially in the world of competitive gaming. And we've got a $1.3 million prize pool for FIFA 17. So
Chump change.
You can pay Ibrahimovic wages for a week. You know, get Zlatan in the show for a week. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. So we look at all the people who love to play FUT that aren't motivated by that, but we think with the combination of this new mode, FUT Champions, all the in-game rewards, and then this chance that people can have to actually play out of game real world events for this kind of prize money, we think this is just the starting point for us.
And I think the cool thing as well is the fact that, the way that Champions is structured, that every day of the week you have the opportunity to qualify. So, you can go in and play, qualify for the weekend. So you get to play, Monday through Friday. You win the threshold of games required, and then you're into the weekend event within the game itself. So, it's not like having to wait a month for your next opportunity. Each day of the week, you get the chance to actually, play competitively and try and qualify for that next weekend event within the game. So
it's like football, trying to perform when Saturday comes.
Exactly.
You got to step up on game day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys have obviously been working hard on this game. New engine, new FIFA experience, all new kinds of game modes within FUT and just within FIFA itself. I can't wait to play more.
I can't wait.
It's so soon.
I can't wait either.
It's so soon.
It's not far off now.
FIFA 17. I know there's a lot of people out there excited for more FIFA, including us, and we're going to be back with more from Gamescom right here on Twitch.